I'll just start while he's setting up. I always like the connections in life, and this morning gave me a great way to start my presentation that I well prepared in the last 24 hours or so. Because Jaap Stam was mentioned, and if you don't remember, Jaap Stam is a soccer player. He's married to Alice van Baveren, who you may not know, but she's the first girl that I dated in high school and kissed, obviously before she was with Jaap Stam. And she lived in a town, and I was in school in Kampen, and Kampen had a library where I borrowed this book so many times in a row. At the time, you would go in, put it back, pull it back out, get a stamp, and unless somebody had put a claim on it, you could take it. I got it so many times in a row that they said, you know what, you can have it. We don't want to see you here anymore. Gives away a little bit that I'm not the youngest in this group either. But this was the only book available in the Netherlands where I grew up in the 80s. And as you may know, Holland is red, white, and blue flag, but if you paid attention to the Olympics, there's a lot of orange popular colors. So my favorite teams are the Edmonton Oilers, because I followed hockey in the 80s and kind of got stuck, and the Philadelphia Flyers. And the Philadelphia Flyers have a player. Anybody who knows who this is? Weise. So after 10 years in Canada calling myself Robert Weise, I realized no, his name is the same as me and everybody calls him Weise, so I've been calling myself the wrong name, RJ Weise. So he's not my brother as far as I know, we're not related, but would be financially interesting to find out if that's the case. What I'm talking about here today is something that I talked with Will. So less than a year ago, I was mostly in the baseball and fantasy baseball analytics and doing stuff, and I talked to Will at the Tableau conference in Vegas, and he showed me the link to the NHL stats and that kind of thing, and started playing. And I got to the point where it was like, you know, everybody knows how to visualize shot data, XY coordinates from the NHL API, and I just wanted to see if there was a way to do it differently. And just one example, but I'm definitely not a mathematician or a statistical wizard, but I do specialize in visualizing data. So I thought, in a way, to bring sports analytics closer to players, I thought this is one example where, you know, this may relate a little bit better to them. And I just wanted to quickly show you, after seeing the Tableau demonstration yesterday from Will, awesome job of how to do this in Tableau. And I also want to let you know that whatever you need, if you have your own XY stats, I'll send out the image that goes with this, and the calculated values or calculated fields in Tableau are downloadable. You can just show it yourself this way. So I think there's one thing missing, but that's okay. So a couple of things we need to do to show our data in a 3D way like this is we basically have to project our data. I have a GIS background. I don't know if anybody else is familiar with that, but we have to project our data, and we have to put the background image in a way that our data kind of matches to the image. So in Tableau, you go to Map Background Images, you load the image, and then you basically have to tell how the XY coordinates in your data set relate to the image that you're displaying. I did some calculations, which probably most of you would maybe take 20 minutes. It took me 20 days or so. But it's always good to learn, right? So then basically what I did is the XY coordinates from the NHL API, I just made them all positive because I don't want to work with negative images, and then divided them by 2 so that I didn't really have that 0 to 200 spectrum, but just a 0 to 100, so I could basically divide my axes in 100% and relate that to the percentage that the X and Y coordinates would have in my image in perspective. So then I basically don't have the process that took me 20 days or so to figure out how to come up with a formula that sort of would automatically convert those X and Y coordinates into the perspective view, but the calc image percentage basically calculates the X coordinate, and the Y calc then uses that. So it looks at on the length axis, it looks at where the point is, and then because of your trapezoid shape, it kind of calculates the decrease of the Y coordinate. Is anybody still following? Because I'm not really, but so what you get then is this 3D view, and I created a workbook that is published to Tableau Public. You can click, so this is, I believe, for one season, 16, 17 shot data, and if you click on one of the icons of the team, that filters it to that team, and then you can see the goals, misses, and shots. And if you want to, and just to compare, if you click on a event in the top-down view, you can see that it's still not perfect, but it's close enough. So. If you have any questions, you can either talk to me here or tweet me at RJ.
Thank you.
Weise.
Up next is Robert.